The Property Input Stencil allows us to control a property from the flow sheet without having to enter into the project viewer. And so to use this stencil, we drag it over onto our flow sheet, and then we can double-click this box that appears to open up the stencil. The first thing we're going to do is go and find the property that it is that we want to control. So I'll select property, and that will bring up my moniker tree. In this example, let's say that we want to control the amount of gas that we're bringing into our glycol contactor. And so I will go into our flow sheet and onto our page, open up the process streams, and I want this dry basis gas stream. If I open that up and go into phases, into the total phase, there I'll find the properties, and I can scroll down to find that flow rate. You'll notice some properties are bold while others are not. And so the bold properties are the properties that we as users are currently controlling or have currently specified. And so those are the only values we'll be able to control with this Property Input Stencil. So I will choose the volumetric flow here. And when I have chosen that to be what I will control, next I can choose whether I want to display the units and choose whichever units I would like. I can also choose whether to display the property name, so the volumetric flow in this case. And so I can select that as well and click OK. And now this is how that appears. If I wanted to edit the wording of this, I could open up the stencil again, and now instead of displaying the property name, I could enter a prefix of how I want this to be named. So I could call this my inlet gas flow rate. And that's what would appear now when I click OK. And so I can change my label that way. Now to do the actual control, I need to just single click on this stencil, and I can type in a new value that I want. So now if I want to flow 250 million standard cubic feet per day, I can type in 250 and then click enter, or just click away from the stencil, and that number will update, and we'll see that everything is now not solved. And if I open up the stream itself, we'll see that the project viewer has changed to match my stencil. And so the stencil allows us to control that property from the outside, from the flow sheet, without having to dive into the project viewer.